What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Lennox Lewis. Big up, England. Big up. Lennox Lewis names the hardest puncher that he's ever faced. Now, keep in mind, Lennox Lewis was knocked out by McCall. He was knocked out by Hasim Rahman. And you would think one of those guys would be the hardest puncher that he's ever faced, but it was not. This is what he had to say. The Lion stated that Lennox Lewis revealed that none of these hard hitters knocked him out or hit him as hard as Shannon the Cannon Briggs. Let's go, champ. Let's go. What's wrong, champ? He lacked endurance, but Briggs certainly knew how to put his body weight behind a punch. Unfortunately for him, you need the full package when you face me, so power isn't enough. Fans may expect to say McCall or Hasim Rahman for punching power, but I basically set myself up against both of them. Okay, and that's it. Okay, so let me counterpunch. Well, Shannon the Cannon is known for his cannons. He's known for punching. Unfortunately, he didn't have it all. He didn't have the boxing ability. He was kind of like a guy. Shannon the Cannon reminded me of what a current Derek Chisora is now. Okay, he was like the Derek Chisora of the time. But, you know, only difference is this is the two-time heavyweight champion of the world. So, you know, he was able to obtain the belt. So if there was a champion that I could compare him to, nobody really right now because of the way he fought, okay? Not his accolades. Shannon the Cannon is a two-time heavyweight world champion. Derek Chisora is not, okay? But both of those guys fought pretty much the same to me. You know, they had clubbing styles. And I think Shannon Cannon, he had a little bit more skill, but yeah, he can hit. He can hit. He was tough. I mean, that Klitschko fight, bro, they put him in the hospital for a couple weeks. He took a beating in that fight, you know. So did Derek Chisora, though, to be fair. But, you know, it's surprising to hear him say that. However, this is what I think about with Lennox Lewis. Lennox Lewis, to me, is a very talented fighter. Everybody knew how I felt about Lennox Lewis. Now he's a legend. There's no need to rate Lennox Lewis now or to talk shit about Lennox Lewis now because he's done his job and he's done a very damn good job, okay? He's the last undisputed heavyweight champion in the world, and he pretty much had everything. That being said, Lennox Lewis was a bit egotistical, you know, with like things that he says that makes him kind of come off as an ass. So, you know, give you an example. Lennox Lewis fought David Tua. David Tua, you know, caught him with some left hooks, and I don't think he really caught him like he's supposed to. You know what I mean? The left hook that could have landed to hurt him, to knock him out. You know, he would tap it because he was just too damn short. He would have to jump and raise. He would miss these shots. A lot of these left hooks would miss, and Lennox Lewis would make him pay, rightfully so. But after that fight was over, you know, he didn't say what you thought he was going to say. He was like, well, David Tua, you know, he didn't catch me flush, so I didn't really feel the shots. So, you know, between my jab and my right hand, you know, I was able to just nullify him. That's what you probably would have seen if Lennox Lewis probably wasn't an asshole. But this is what you heard. Oh, you call that a left hook? Oh, man, my daughter hits harder than that, man. You know, that type of shit. That's not a left hook. You know, like, that's more degrading. Another example, Vitali. Oh, well, they were going to stop it anyway, Larry. I was getting to him anyway. I was gonna knock him out. Luckily they saved him. That type of shit. You know what I mean? Like, the way he would respond to certain fighters or talk about certain opposition was almost like he didn't respect them. You know what I mean? He only like talked about himself, just real kind of shitty. Well, what does that have to do with this article, Kurt? Well, I'll tell you what. It will be convenient to name a guy that hits hardest in your career, like Shannon the Cannon, a guy that you've knocked out versus the guys that you didn't, versus the guys that knocked you out. Sure, he got Hasim Rahman in the second fight, but Hasim Rahman knocked him out. Oliver McCall knocked him out. And sure, that second fight was the weirdest shit I ever saw, but you know what I mean? He somewhat got his bearings back and his, respect back for both guys. Because Oliver McCall wouldn't fight because he was on some kind of drugs or somebody was threatening his life or something, that Don King shit. And, Hasim Rahman did really just catch him with a good shot. But then you got to ask yourself, why couldn't these guys that put you on your ass hit the hardest? It's almost with Lennox Lewis, to me, it's almost like he doesn't like to give credit where credit's due. See, understand, I think that Lennox Lewis not acknowledging those guys that hit him and knocked him out, I think that's his way of not giving them acknowledgement that they're hard hitters. You know what I mean? Because if he could hit you, if Shannon the Cannon could hit you harder, why ain't you out on your ass? Why wasn't you knocked down by Shannon the Cannon? Yeah, it was a good fight, but then why would you just pick Shannon the Cannon, a guy that didn't do anything action-wise, right? Or result-wise, what these other guys did? See, in other words, it could be a way to kind of not give them credit for them knocking his ass out. You know what I mean? I can tell you about a guy that hits the hardest, but I knocked him out. So, right? So, I think that may be a little part of it. I could be wrong. Again, like a lot of instances, I hope I'm wrong. But you guys tell me what you think of Lennox Lewis revealing who was the hardest hitter that he's ever faced. And it's not Rahman, and it's conveniently not McCall. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!